We're doing a different kind of video. Today, I'm making a case for Kailua. I'm kind of talking to my local people and letting you people on the mainland listen in, because Kailua is like revered at the Most High, but also I learned today in one of these street interviews we ended up doing unintentionally. Is there anti-Kailua merch?
There is.
Really?
Yeah.
Kailua ends up being the butt of jokes sometimes, and then you have like generational Kailua families that are like, hey, no, you don't get it. I kind of hinted at some of the reasons why people may not like Kailua, referencing this store, and then I went in, it was the greatest people, and they were like, nah, we're super local. I hope the comment section lights up for this video. This is kind of a pros and cons of sorts. We ended up seeing a YouTube fan on the streets who just moved here 6 months ago. He gives us his number one pro, number one con.
I mean, it's a drive everywhere. You don't really communicate. Everyone's a lot more, I guess, cold. Here you see a lot more like...
And his impressions of Hawaii versus where he was on the mainland and all of the stuff he saw watching us and now being here. We also ended up in a place with a person from California who gives their like Hawaii versus California opinions. Light us up in the comment section. You disagree, you agree. This is one thing you didn't mention. You don't know about this in Kailua. I want to see these comments go crazy. For my people watching this from the mainland, you guys probably already, you're either, if I could afford it, I like Kailua, or I'm moving to Kailua. A lot of mainland people feel like that. I already know. It's a relocation and transient market. We know. We hear it all the time. My local people. So a lot of you guys grew up on this island, or maybe you came from outer islands to Oahu. Even if Kailua is in the, like, well within your price range, you still are like, Kailua. I don't think that's fair to Kailua. So I'm gonna show you this town, talk about it in a different light than we've ever done. All right, so I grew up in Eva Beach. I don't come from much. When I lived in Florida as a little kid, we were pretty poor. Whole Foods kind things, that wasn't in my upbringing. But I moved to California, you know, experienced some organic kale and feeling good and doing some yoga, and why not? What's wrong with having one in the neighborhood? Like, who wouldn't want to have one? It's good vibes. And like, look at this parking lot. Whether it's full on Hawaii Kailua vibes with the mountains over there, or it's more this shopping town square vibe of Kailua along with these Christmas things. Like, not a lot of places in Hawaii do this, but when you go to the mainland, you could catch these vibes, and sometimes we fall short in Hawaii of doing that. Like, some of the local people are like, bruh, stop trying to turn this into the mainland. To the brada watching, like, your wife might enjoy a little bit of this with a coffee in her hand. Like, you just don't get this, and I don't know why. Like, it's good vibes. Let's go check out some more of it. For those people saying Kailua is not local enough, you're saying this is the mainland. What about these chickens? You can tell me that's not Hawaii. This chicken looks like one that used to fight chickens and they let it go. Because that is a thing in Hawaii. Not legally, but you know more guys than me, I think. Hawaii plantation vibes. We got tea leaves, Christmas decorations. I didn't grow up in Kailua, but I could do that. You know what I mean? Check out some more. Anytime there's a core power yoga in Hawaii, town, Kailua, new part of Kapolei, it's a symbol of like trendiness and up and coming. Again, it's not that I'm trying to change Hawaii to the mainland. I'm just acknowledging this town that reminds me of certain things of my decade I was stationed and lived in California after the Coast Guard. If you ever been to Alameda, California, or I was just in a place in Colorado where my wife's auntie lives, sometimes there's these tree-lined streets. Now add shops, restaurants. You can look at Whole Foods over here. The tables and chairs are really close to the street. And it's like, well, who wants to eat next to exhaust and brake dust? While I get that, and there's a time and a place certainly not to do that, sometimes it's just fun. Like in the middle of the day for a business lunch, the energy of a city that's funneling through what I envision is like the entrance to Kailua. There's just an energy. Like me, you probably didn't grow up with core power yoga over there and a gym right there within walking distance or biking distance and multiple breweries, because there's Lanikai Brewing too. But are you mad at having it? Remember, you don't have to live in Kailua town. You can live in, you know, somewhere else in Kailua and be a close, you know, within proximity to all this. A beer with friends on a Friday night or whatever, or even a Thursday day like today, with all this energy of the street. My gym is right there, maybe a workout with a beer. Go over here, look. We got Mexican food, in my opinion, one of the coolest coffee shops on the island at Morning Brew. We've mentioned it before, we'll mention it again. We'll probably end up there here in a few minutes. Lanikai juice. Is that literally a dog bakery? Now this is where I understand some people, my local people, like, bruh, over here, struggling to survive on this island, these frickers, these guys got a bakery for their dogs. Like, I get it. A used bookstore, Bookends over here. There's an Indian restaurant down there. Fun fact about Hawaii, we only have one surviving bookstore That's a Barnes & Noble's in Ala Moana shopping center. So you have to go to the biggest mall in the Pacific Ocean to go to any kind of bookstore. If you look down this alley over here, I was just in Boulder, Colorado recently, and this gives Boulder. I've never been to like Telluride or some of these mountain snow towns, but well, I've been to Tahoe, I've been to Leavenworth and Washington, some places, but like this kind of gives like this mountainy snow town kind of thing. I know that's not West Side, that's not like where I grew up and went to high school and stuff, but I appreciate it. So I'm just trying to make a case for Kailua. Local people, don't hang me at the stake. I'm trying to make a case for Kailua because I see it. All right, guys, so we just finished a street interview. My guy Joey was riding his bike by. He noticed us. We asked his #1 pro and his #1 con. Keep it real. Like, what's the worst thing about Kailua? Local brother blasting the sounds. High-vis construction shirt. He turned the music down too because he saw us filming. We asked him to tell us the worst thing about Kailua, also his favorite. We had a whole interview, but we're gonna save that for the end because it's kind of to put it in the middle, disrupt the video. If you want to see that interview with Joey, watch it to the very end. I get it, right? Like, are we gonna shop at Soha Keiki and get our kid a $80 lunch bag or whatever? Like, unlikely. But a couple of things. We like to platform and give light to local businesses and local entrepreneurs. So shout outs to Soha Keiki. But also, tell me in the comment section, even if you don't buy that kind, do you like to, after dinner, or after coffee, or eat dinner, go grab a coffee at a different place, and then like window shop this kind? Cause me too, my kid ain't getting stuff from inside there, but I still like it. I still want to window shop. Maybe I will buy something occasionally just to support. Like, I get it, but I'm just saying, don't you, like, can we appreciate it? I made the case for some small local stores that even though I may not shop at them, I appreciate having them, the vibes. But I'm keeping it real. The only person I know who wears crazy shirts is my dad, and he nobody gonna buy crazy shirts except for tourists, for the most part. Waxing the city, well, that's not me, you know. And boutique eyewear, I mean, I was gonna try to make a case for it, but I got nothing. Okay guys, this got nothing to do with anything. In our content studio, where we film a lot of our in-studio stuff, we go live almost every Tuesday. This same artist, shout outs to Render 808, he did this whole thing in our content studios. It's not that I need this in my neighborhood, but I could do it, I appreciate it. It's cool, it adds something. All right, to my local people, tell me, are you old enough to remember Pali Lanes? And have you ever been inside of it? If so, leave me a comment, tell me about it. I've never been inside Pali Lanes. This is prime real estate. I wonder what's going on. There has to be a business in the works or something. What would you wanna see here in Kailua Town? Like, what should someone do? Or if you're just one of those business dreamers like me, like, oh, I would open a gym or whatever, what would you put right there? Well, I don't know, I kind of call the backside, the other side of Kailua Town, the older side. The main strip where we were is right over there. Target's over there, and then there's all of this stuff. So, you know, maybe you're like, nah, I wouldn't move to Kailua. Kailua's not for me or whatever. But Kono's is cool, right? Great Harvest Bread Company. I appreciate good bread. It smells good. Some like sourdough right out of the thing. Can I buy like a $8 loaf, $10, $12 loaf all the time? No, but it's cool to have it there occasionally, right? Surf Company, and one of our last Kailua videos, we went over here to B&T and got acai bowl, which I appreciate. They give a lot of peanut butter. So if you order peanut butter, they give a lot. Nalu Health Bar and Cafe. What I'm saying is not even that you should move to Kailua. Maybe a better way to put it is like, could we bring some of this stuff to, like, I live in Mililani. Instead of it just being like the Walmart and movie theater shopping center, which is more of like a planned American community kind of thing, like, could we bring some more of this local street shop, window shopping vibe? Like, I could do this. I know that if more local people like me had lived in California or some other place for a bit, maybe this is still not where they move when they come home, but maybe there'd be a greater appreciation for it. Maybe be a little bit more likely to come over on a Friday night, do a couple of things, you know what I mean? Shout out to my families who have been in Kailua for generations and generations, because I know by this time you're probably watching this video like, this monkey don't know what he's talking about. I hear you, I see you. Kailua is a plethora of things, right? It's transitory, it's relocation, it's old Hawaii, it's all those things. And I'm just saying that's why I love it. Kailua is mean, as we would say in Hawaii. All right, let's talk about some of the Kailua neighborhoods. Keolu Hills, Enchanted Lake. Here's what people say about these neighborhoods. Some of the local people are like, if I ever lived in Kailua again, because she grew up here, she'd be like, it would be the Keolu Enchanted Lakes area, because for me, it feels more home, it feels more Hawaii. It's not so this. For some people, it'd be like, wait, This is the whole reason I want to move to Kailua. So moving to Enchanted Lakes, Keolu, it's more of a suburb, it's more of a sprawl. Yes, you could maybe catch some views from certain areas, more so of the mountains than the ocean. Few areas have ocean views. It doesn't have all this energy. The whole like case I'm trying to make for Kailua today, Enchanted Lakes, Keolu, it doesn't have it. Lanikai, Kailua Beach, that whole section, there's reasons why stores are called Lanikai Juice. You know, restaurants are named after Lanikai. There's probably countless clothing brands and t-shirts from other brands mentioning Lanikai and tourist things. Lanikai is a world famous stretch of beach and community that has a hike, the Lanikai Pillbox hike, light blue and green ocean, you know, variances and white sand. It's homogeneous. Like you're really pinched in when you come into it. There's the sign and then it opens up to, you know, not a ton of homes. It's its own community. I make a case for Kailua Beach. Where our clients moved in Kailua next to the beach, you actually get more sand, you get more beach, less crowd, less traffic. It's just kind of better. Unless you want that homogeneous, just everyone's a part of Lanikai, and you don't want to be more, you know, in a more open community. For 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, I could make a strong case for Kailua Beach. So back to convincing my local people, like making a case for Kailua. Like if this isn't your thing, all these things I'm saying, you're like, miss me with all that. Well, Keolu, Enchanted Lakes, these areas, they still feel like old Hawaii to a degree. A little bit cooler weather. Granted, you have to deal with some rain. Closer commute to town. Like there's a lot of merit in some of these Kailua communities. Now, trying to convince local people of Lanikai, like, I'm not even gonna try. Let's go the flat grid part of Kailua, the Coconut Grove area. It's not always my favorite part of Kailua because there's a lot of throughfare, a lot of people passing through. I would need to find a protected little pocket if I were gonna do that area. But wouldn't you wanna live closer to the beach where you can just ride a beach cruiser, pull a wagon with a Yeti cooler, have nice, softer waves where your kids can learn how to bodyboard and, you know, get pounded a little. Don't have to worry about dying. There's no reef, it's sandy. You can kayak, do water sports. There's a reason why people like Kailua. Like people with the decision and buying power move here for these things. But my wife, mountain girl. She could care less about being close to the ocean. In fact, I just sent her to California as a Christmas gift to go to this Christmas fair thing and catch the mountain vibes. She came home and she was like, you know what? I miss that kind. Like, yeah, I'm from Hawaii, born and raised, but I'm not a beach person. The case I'm trying to make for Kailua Beach, it would fall on deaf ears in my household. Maunawili. I don't know, just look at it. Kenji, media guy, show Maunawili. Show me and Mahi joking around in Maunawili. Like, it's amazing. Look at these mountain views. Look at these open streets. Look at these larger yards. A Hawaii feel. Maunawili is a special place. The problem is Maunawili almost never goes for sale. But I'm just saying, we're dreaming today, right? We're dreaming. If you could afford to live in Maunawili, if money weren't an issue, Maunawili is not a bad place. The only thing about Maunawili that I don't like, probably be a little too wet, and you typically aren't catching ocean views. The Kalaheo Hillside, Aikahi area, you're close to Kaneohe, so you can shoot up into Windward Mall. You want to catch local vibes? Even if you're not from Windward side, you probably have some memory of going Windward Mall with your grandpa or something, or maybe you guys chose to go movies and catch a matinee over there or whatever. You can go into Kaneohe and do Kaneohe things super easy. But in the Kalaheo and Aikahi area, there's its own like people riding bikes, walking dog, meeting at the park vibe. That's not this more urban, city adjacent sort of thing that's happening here, but it definitely feels communal when we go in there. Now, I would say sometimes Aikahi might have a bit of like a sterileness to it, whereas Kalaheo less so. Feels a little just older and mature, but I mean, local people, it's like Shigo. You know what I mean? Like you can come into this, you can go Windward Mall, you can jump on the H3 easy. Like might not have Taniokas and Waipahu, you know, might not have Highway Inn, but like good, cool food. Kailua, like there's a case for it, you know what I mean? Thanks for stopping to say hi.
Of course, brother.
Appreciate it. So Joey was like, oh, moving to Hawaii? Yeah, we just moved here from Texas. Texas?
Yeah, Texas.
Where in Texas?
El Paso, Texas, right on the border of Mexico.
This may seem wild to you.
Yeah.
Some local people, especially, they're like, Kailua, I would never. But so many people relocating, they're like, it's the most magical neighborhood on Oahu. How long have you been here? What's your experience been so far? How is it compared to El Paso?
It's a lot more just suburbs everywhere in El Paso. A lot around the like mainland too. I mean, it's a drive everywhere. You don't really communicate. Everyone's a lot more, I guess, cold. Here you see a lot more like communication. Here I'm riding my bike to CVS. Like to go to the closest thing would be like 20 minutes, like to Target. Back in Texas, I mean, it works for us. We love it. I mean, we've been here probably about 6 months. We work right down at Kalapwai Market, right there on Kailua Beach.
Oh, yeah?
I seen you did a video on that.
And then the other guy noticed this too.
Yeah. He doesn't work there no more. I first started working there. I was like, I wonder if that same guy still works there. I mean, we love it. We love the community. I mean, everything's like right here around here. I mean, we go right to UFC gym. To us, everything's so close knit and everything, and everyone's so nice here. I mean, it's perfect for us.
Is it surprising to you that I, as a local person, am like trying to convince local people to see the merit in Kailua? Is that kind of astonishing to you? Do you even understand that yet?
I mean, because we work with a lot of other people that that are locals that have lived here their whole lives. So, I mean, from my perspective at least, like everyone's super nice here.
We keep it real, right? We try and not just sunshine and rainbows. You're most positive and you're most negative.
For me, the most positive, I mean, it definitely has to be, the beach. The beach is like, 5 minutes away. I mean, I ride my bike to work every day, 7 minutes, right there working on the beach. I mean, that's perfect. One negative, definitely, I mean, sometimes at night, you'll definitely hear, like, I don't know, people yelling. And, you do see, I've seen you've even posted it too. Some people are less fortunate, with drug abuse and everything. You do see that a little bit around here. So it is definitely, if you live right in town, like, you will see that. There was a guy from Waimanalo that was, he broke both of his legs. So he had really bad leg issues. So he rode the bus from Waimanalo to over here to use the McDonald's that's right there across the bus stop. That was his only resource he had. So he literally set up right there at the bus stop. So, I could understand that completely. It is like, a lot of less fortunate situations. You still even have them here in Hawaii.
Makes sense, right? Because if you are unfortunate and houseless and maybe mental issues, drug abuse, whatever, finds you on the streets, you want to be near resources.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, whether that's rubbish cans or people willing to donate, you need to be closer to resources. And so if you're not going to be in the city, Kailua is a good place to be for that, right? Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you,
in the video.
Crazy. This is Ashley.
Hi.
We just had a conversation with the owner, and the owner honestly was like, I'm not prepared to be on camera, but Ashley's amazing, so here we are. The theme for today's video is I'm making a case for Kailua to local people. Kailua might be the butt of some jokes, like, I wouldn't live Kailua, whatever.
I see that a lot on social media. There's like a lot of merch on it. There's like a lot of
merch?
Social media influencers.
Is there anti-Kailua merch?
There is.
Really?
Yeah.
When we were out on the street, is that literally a dog bakery? So I was like, nah, local people, I get it. Some of you guys are like, these freaking people got a dog bakery, and I get it. But you don't gotta go. Like, it's a cool thing to have. I said something to that effect.
Yeah.
Because you could see some people be like, seriously, dog bakery? Then I walk in and your owner's like, our best customers are from West Side, Nanakuli. Why not?
Our customers drive really far just to come here. So majority of our customers are West Side. They come from Mililani. They make the drive over here because they know that we have great ingredients. We as a business support local. So like our fish is caught in Kaneohe, and that's just like right there. Our venison comes from Maui, white axis deer. So we try really hard to locally source our ingredients. So, our customers, they'll come from West Side, they'll come from Mililani because they want to get the best for their dog.
So you're telling me you get local brothers lifted to Tacoma, just powdered construction job. They walk in here with the construction boots and they're like, I need some dog food. That's on the West Side, a lot more pit bulls and stuff, and they tend to have more allergies.
They do. So I have a French bulldog myself, and before I started working here, I did struggle a lot with allergies. We're talking like every night before we go to bed, my dog would like lick his paws for like 45 minutes straight if I let him. His paws were super puffy, super red, and it was because of his diet. Because if your dog's eating good, they're going to be a lot happier and they're going to live longer.
I'm glad we came here and met you guys. So the other thing, are you from Windward Side?
I'm not. I actually live in Eva Beach. I'm originally from California. Yeah, I moved here in 2009.
This is the only, I don't know if you've ever been up to Northern California, like maybe Carmel by the sea or parts of Santa Cruz, Pleasanton, Palo Alto, these little town squares. This is the only place like that, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's just keep it real. Kailua is dog town. Can you speak to that?
We have a lot of dogs that come in. So, we have like a huge ball pit here.
It's for dogs only.
People come in with their dogs. We're super just like about the community, making those connections with not just the people, but with the dogs, because we have dogs that will literally pull their owners. They'll be like, oh yeah, we parked in front of Long's and my dog pulled me all the way over here. Dogs are smart. They're going to pull their owners over here because they know that they're going to come in here. We have a ball pit. They're going to get a pup cup. They're going to get all the pets.
A pup cup?
We have Pop Cups.
Would you say, is there any more dog town than Kailua?
Not really, just because if you think about what Kailua is, people can take their dogs to the beach. They can walk around Kailua town. You have Dogtown Bakery. A lot of the restaurants and just a lot of the businesses here are really dog friendly.
Just on the side of the
So
street
you
at
can
Whole
take your
Foods
dog
or
to,
Maui
like,
Brewing.
Exactly. You can take your dog to Maui Brewing Co. and it's pretty safe. I feel like town, you have to worry about the traffic and all that other stuff.
There's notes of that around here too,
There
though, right?
is.
Yeah.
It's just, I
But
mean,
it's not-
the parking's nice though here.
What is your number one pro about Kailua, and what would be your number one con?
The number one pro is that there are a lot of small local businesses and we all support each other. We also have a community that backs up small business because we have a number of people that come in and they're like, yeah, I just want to support local. I want to support small business. Oh, I told my friend about you guys. Oh, yeah, I'm buying stuff so that I could send it to my friend on the mainland. Or, oh, I'm going to my mainland and I really want to take treats to my family's dog. Stuff like that. So we just have a really supportive community here. I feel like Hawaii is super big on community. We see it every day. We see our community supporting us as a small business.
Okay, what's your number one con?
The weather's kind of junk sometimes, especially during the winter.
Are you from the dry part of California?
I am. But I also live in Eva Beach and we don't get a lot of rain.
Oh, okay. Since you're from California, LA, greater LA area, and now you live in Eva Beach, which could feel a little more like a California suburb with the construction type and stuff, and you work in Kailua, like, can I get a quick California versus Hawaii?
I moved here in 2009, which was my senior year of high school. So I did 3 years of high school in LA and then 1 year of high school in Hawaii. I was not a good student in California.
Okay.
I got pulled into my counselor's office in
Yeah.
like the beginning of my junior year and they're like, hey, you got to buckle down or else you're not going to graduate high school. Buckled down, had to do some like extra schooling so I could catch up on my credits. I moved here and I'm almost a 4.0 student.
Okay.
And it's because my teachers were more approachable. They were willing to help me more. So I didn't feel like I was burdening anybody by going out of my way to like ask them for help.
That's interesting because usually when people think about Hawaii schools, that's a sacrifice they're making. Like they're coming to Hawaii despite the schools, or they're coming to Hawaii not choosing public school, whatever. You're saying the schools were better, not necessarily that they were more scholarly on, the French Revolution or trigonometry necessarily. Probably had some kids, but it was the culture, it was the communication style that you were like, okay, I can connect and learn.
I went to Pro City High School. It was a little bit smaller than the high school that I went to in the mainland, so I get it. Mainland teachers have way more students. They can't cater to everybody, but then just like having teachers that are willing to give me like a small portion of their time to try to help me so that I could get better grades was a huge deal for me. So that was like one of the things that I saw early on moving here where I was like, okay, wow, like it's really nice here. People are like super warm. They're really welcoming. Community was huge. But then community is huge in California also, especially in like Los Angeles because I grew up in a predominantly like Hispanic, Chinese, Vietnamese neighborhood.
okay.
So it wasn't too much of like a culture shock per se. I think now trying to compare like California and living over here, I do go home and it's just totally different. The city that I grew up in, there's just a lot more buildings.
What area, if you don't mind?
Oh, I grew up in Monterey Park, so it's in the San Gabriel Valley. Not a lot of people know about it.
Yeah.
They advertise it in China.
They advertise it in China?
They advertise Monterey Park in China because there's such a large Chinese community that they advertise. It's really interesting. I didn't know that until high school.
Interesting.
Yeah. But it's like totally changing. So it's kind of like when you left to live in California and you came back, I'm sure that where you live was totally different also.
I left as a 21-year-old. I turned 22 in boot camp, went to the Coast Guard. Within 2 years, I was stationed in California, and I stayed there for over a decade. I was in the Bay. I came home pre-COVID, mind you.
Oh, okay.
Pre-COVID. But I came home, and for the most part, it wasn't too different. Now, a little bit less shakas on the freeway.
Oh, yeah.
Before, it was way more standard. But still, worlds better in terms of friendliness and community and aloha driving and stuff. It was refreshing because it was the same. Like, California became so woke, especially being kind of outgoing guy. Like, I don't always think about what I'm saying. I felt like I was on eggshells all the time.
Bay Area, super woke,
So
super
woke.
political. And then in LA, I feel like it's a little bit more lax. I don't want to say that we're not woke, but just like
Compared to the rest of the country, you guys are
Yeah.
still very woke. But compared to the Bay, not
Exactly.
as bad. But I came home and I had a job at first, and people would say certain things, and I'd be like, "Someone's gonna call HR," and then they would just be like, "What? This is not like what's wrong
Like,
with
do you
you?"
need to go to the bathroom? Are you okay?
Yeah,
What's
what's
that
wrong
face?
with you? The Hawaii was kind of locked in time in a way that was very refreshing.
We're aware of the problems,
Yeah.
but we don't have to be so in it.
When I go back to California, it's dangerous. This is anecdotal. Our nephew goes to Menlo College. His friend was in the city. In San Francisco, they say the city. He was in the city, and a homeless person or drug addict came up and poked him with a needle.
What?
The person has HIV now.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They're HIV positive now.
That is insane.
And so I know that's anecdotal, but
Yeah.
California, Hawaii, it's refreshing coming home. Thank you for the conversation.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Contact us for all your real estate needs, whether you're selling, buying, small team, intimate, ton of skill. Hit us up for all your Hawaii real estate needs. Or if you're starting on the mainland and gonna make your way here, we can send you referrals over there. The other thing is, we just came up with this idea. We are going to start a secret YouTube channel. It's gonna be a different production quality. We're not spending 30 hours a week producing these videos, but some of these street interviews, some things that happen in the office. So maybe just drive around, boring talk that would end up being 2 hours of me driving around the island and talking about the island, but that would never perform well on YouTube. We're gonna make a secret YouTube channel. So go to coreteamhawaii.com, tell us your real estate needs, and then if you're like, oh, so you're telling me there's more Kailua content that I don't even, like it's not on this channel? I'm specifically looking at Kailua versus Hawaii Kai. I'm specifically looking at Kapolei, Eva versus Mililani. You're telling me you have more content on the secret channel? Yes. Because what we decided is we have to make certain videos for this algorithm to perform. Like there's a recipe, right? There's a sauce. But that doesn't mean that we don't have a ton to say that otherwise wouldn't perform. And that's gonna be on the secret channel.